Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here with the 2018 April tier shifts. I'll be talking about them, just giving my thoughts on the new tiers that we have. And we have quite a few changes that will definitely impact the metagame. Also, I just wanted to say I just hit 1,000 Twitch subscribers last night, and that's absolutely amazing. Thank you everybody for all the support. Special shout out to my boy We Read Those Crits and Gyarados. Thank you guys. But another thing I wanted to say is that I'll be making a video on Zeraora probably next week because I wanted to go in depth. A lot of people have been asking me, yo, what tier do you think this Pokemon is going to be in? It doesn't have Ice Punch. You know, what do you think it could be UU? Do you think it could be OU? I don't want to just dump out a video, like a 3-minute video talking about what tier I think it's going to be in. So what I'm actually going to do is, run calcs, look at common team archetypes, compare it to how it looks in the current meta. Obviously, it's all going to be speculation anyway, but I'm going to back it up with, calcs and knowledge of the meta itself. So hopefully that'll be out next week. I just don't want to dump that out over the weekend. I want to actually put some time into that. But yeah, so let's talk about these tier shifts because UU's about to see a crazy change, just a little bit of a crazy change. It's actually pretty big for it. And then NU and RU they're funky right now. So let's talk about it. So the only change we saw from UU to OU is Amoonguss has left from UU to OU. This is a huge change for the UU tier. Amoonguss, it was one of those mons that you could just put on a team, sponge hits from Superior, sponge hits from Azu, sponge hits from Breloom. And all of those have become a massive, even bigger of threats, especially because, Breloom was recently suspected and decided to actually stay in the metagame. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Gliscor didn't end up moving up, and we'll go more into that later. But just to, knock that, oh man, Gliscor is just Landers. No, it's not. It's it's a better defogger, has reliable recovery, can Swords Dance Roost. Roost is the big one. And is a staple on stall/balance for switching into Heat Red and dealing with those types of teams. That's just something I want to talk about, but I'm sure that's going to move up next month anyway, or anything like that. But yeah, Amoonguss moved up from UU to OU. Amoonguss is a staple on balance now in the OU tier. One of the sets that's been running around is the Assault Vest Stomping Tantrum team, which allows it to break through Heat Ram, which is really nice. Lures Heat Ram, helps its teammates out. Sponging Spore, being able to completely wall Tapu Koko is huge. And being able to take hits from Celesteela up. Pex as well, doesn't care about burn, regenerator, switching in on Pokemon like Ashgren as well. And even with the Protect set, it can be, choiced Lele's depending on what move they lock themselves into. So about time it moved up to OU. That is, like I said, a big change for the UU tier. You lose a Pokemon that literally sponges half the strong attackers. Even Pokemon like Latias, for example, they don't break the Amoonguss unless they're using Shattered Psyche. And Amoonguss can just spore that. But yeah, just easily being able to check Pokemon like Superior, Breloom, that's going to really shift up the UU tier. And I think offense is going to be a lot better right now because this thing fit on balance, this thing fit on stall. Even that was a freaking bulky offense type thing. Amoonguss could actually fit on that squad. So that's really big as well. Manectric as well, which was already a problem, is going to be even bigger of a problem. Obviously, you still have Seismitoad and Swampert to check it, but like Amoonguss could take a hit and either get off chip damage on it, which is really important, or put it to sleep with Spore. So that's a huge change for the UU tier, and I'm really interested to see how the UU tier adapts. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up re-suspect testing Breloom. Obviously, it's not the only Breloom answer in the tier. That's wrong. I'm not trying to say that. No, there's Safety Goggles Crobat. Latias checks it. In any grass type like Celebi, Superior can check it as well if it's not boosted. But I wouldn't be surprised if we did. And Azu, I think, is going to rise up as well in usage. I mean, it's the same thing with all the grass types as well. So that's not necessarily terrible for Azu. Because again, all 3 grass types are going to be rising in usage anyway. Celebi already beat Amoonguss anyway, but Clear Smog, that's only if Celebi was running Shattered Psyche or Recover. Clear Smog otherwise beat it 1v1, but pretty big changes for UU. And it's a rightful place in the OU tier. Now next up, Miltank and Palossand moved up from PU to NU. In Miltank's case, it is one of the better ice switchings in the tier, and the NU tier has the Broken Vanillix, the Broken Ice Cream Cone. So Thick Fat is really nice, has a high speed tier, very solid rocker, as well as on stall. Though I rather use like Licky Licky, Mega Aldino, just because of Wish, passing, and heal bell and whatnot. Miltank can be a valuable heal beller. But 3-guard abilities as well. Sap Sipper, like I said, Sap Sipper, Scrappy, and Thick Fat, and that high speed tier with rockers. Makes sense. Palisand moved up as well, a valuable rocker. The fact that it got that this generation plus Shore Sand makes it a good switch into the fighting types in the tier, especially because Pokemon like Passimian, for example, and it's down here, but we'll talk about it a little bit. Passimian also moved up to the NU tier. It was funny because it was actually banned from PU, but it actually ended up moving up to NU anyway, naturally. That's been seeing a lot of tournament usage as well. Bulky fighting type has access to knockoff, so it doesn't care about ghosts, and has Iron Head to actually hit fairies. So Palisand moving up, that's all a lot of tournament play too. Also helps it, checks Togedemaru in the tier as well, which is actually a pretty good Pokemon, and we're actually just looking through it. But being able to naturally check on the fighting types and Pokemon like Steelix unless they're running Toxic, really nice. So that's why Palisand moved up. Now, we go through this list right here from BL to OU. This doesn't really matter too much because BL just means it was banned from UU, because that's the UU ban list, or borderline, whatever. So the tier between UU and OU, but you guys should know by now, and if you don't, basically tiers are determined by usage. So if a Pokemon doesn't have the usage to be an OU, but it's too powerful for UU, it goes to BL. So the Pokemon that moved up were Hoopa, Unbound, Megaladios, and Jirachi. Megaladios makes a lot of sense. That's been seeing so much play. The specific set that sees a lot of play is Roost, and then you either have Ice Beam, Psychic, Draco, or Earthquake as all possible plays. Those are like the main sets you see, and that's just a great set on balance or bulky offense even. Because it's able to switch into Heatran, able to check Gliscor, which balance does not appreciate. You guys saw the ABR game versus TDK possibly. And just switches in naturally Heatran, and also breaking through Pex with Psychic as well. I don't think I said Psychic in the set, and Psychic should definitely be set in the set. Sorry about that. But being able to break through Pex, if it runs Thunderbolt, it also does massive damage to Celesteela and gets naturally bulkier, so it can actually take it on. So that makes sense. Hoopa saw a lot of play as well. Bandit, Specs, no switching to Hoopa, right? So eventually it was going to move up anyway. Surprised it took so long. And Jirachi, as a Stealth Rocker, is really solid. Stealth Rock, Healing Wish, Support Mon, taking on Lele as well in the tier, as well as Lottie. That's a big one as well with that Mon moving up. And Magearna with either Spadef investment or just Wish passing in general. Staple on some bulky offense teams and balance teams as well. Emboar moved up from BL3 to RU, so it was banned from NU and it moved up to RU. I mean, I haven't played as much RU as of late. I really love that tier. But I mean, it's a hard hitter, it's a wall breaker, and it's the fire type in the tier that is not Moltres or Rotom Heat, that actually like breaks through Pokemon like Umbreon, Cores, with Florges, whatnot. Doesn't care about the Blade and things like that. So it's just a giant wall breaker in the tier, and it's the physical fire type in the tier. Obviously, we just got Entei, but we'll touch more on that in a little bit. And yeah, but it's the the dominant physical fire type in the tier that being used. So and as a wall breaker, it differs from Pangoro just because it has higher speed and arguably hits harder. Obviously, it doesn't have access to Swords Dance. But it arguably hits harder and has better coverage. Though Dark Fighting Poison is amazing coverage at that, but for neutral, right? But in Emboar's case, it actually has beautiful, super effective coverage in the tier. So, UU dropped, lost some Pokemon. I know they're pretty happy about this, but we'll talk about the UU drops real quick. We'll just name them all. UU lost Mega Houndoom, Mienshao, Lucario, Entei, Fortress, and M-Pump. So I'll touch on Lucario real quick. So Lucario being in RU, it's not a thing because Lucario was actually banned previously in the RU tier before it moved up to the UU tier. So Lucario ends up in BL2, which means it's not going to be playable in the tier. I touched upon it too in the spotlight as well, but as a fighting type, it faces competition from other offensive, or as a steel type, it faces competition from other offensive steel types, mainly Scizor, Cobalion. It doesn't have that speed tier to break through. And also misses out on, like the 4-move slot syndrome is super, is potent the word that I'm looking for? it just really has an effect on Lucario in the tier because you want Bullet Punch, right, to be able to deal with Aerodactyl, but you also need Extreme Speed as your priority, moving close combat, right? But that misses out on Pokemon like Slowbro, Mega Slowbro obviously being in the tier as well. Lessens that, and then you talk about Nasty Plot Lucario, right? You need Vacuum Wave because that's how you deal with Hydreigon, and then you have like Flash Cannon and Aura Sphere, right? Or maybe Dark Pulse. But then you're not breaking through Gliscor, which is faster than you, unless you're running Jolly, and even then you need a Steel type, a Steelium Z to break through it. Otherwise, you're just not. And it's just weaker at that point. It's really frail and really hard to get set up. Even versus fatter teams, like it's just really hard to get set up on. So I just really missed out on that and just dropped down. So Mega Houndoom dropped from UU to RU. I think this has a lot to do with the fact that UU banned Drought in order to release Mega Houndoom. But then if you actually go through the to the RU tier, and we'll talk about this because I don't believe RU has drop bound at all. If you actually, let's just make a random set. You know about it. I feel like this is gonna be illegal, but just to back it up, because this is not a set at all. None of these are sets at all. Validate. Yep. So Drought is legal in the RU tier and below. So I'm pretty sure either RU is going. I knew those because I played enough RU. I knew that, but I'm pretty sure they're either going to ban Mega Houndoom or get rid of Drought. But I think, we're definitely going to see a rise in Torkoal, Venusaur, Houndoom teams. That's for sure. Torkoal, obviously, as you guys saw, went down tier. But, yeah, this is the way I see Mega Houndoom. I think of it as Salazzle with better defensive typing and good offensive typing with a great ability as well. Like Salazzle doesn't typically take advantage of Corrosion since it's usually Nasty Plot 3 attacks. It'd be Hidden Power, Fire Blast, and Sludge Wave, right? But in Houndoom's case, Nasty Plot, Dark Pulse, and Fire Blast, and then Solar Beam if you're running it on Sun. And that's a big thing too because it means it does not need a Z move in order to break through a Pokemon like Milotic, the broken Milotic in the tier. You can just use Solar Beam and the Sun, and that'll easily knock it out with Solar Power. This thing is going to break through defensive cores, and I'm honestly not going to be surprised if it gets banned from the RU tier or Suspect Tester or any of that, or they ban Drought. But it's a slower Salazzle with more bulk, access to Sucker Punch, Destiny Bond, things like that. That's going to really shake up the tier. Mienshao also dropped down from UU to RU. As a Scarf fighting type in the UU tier, you usually use Infernape over Mienshao since it's less risk, since you're not, when you throw off your stab move, you're not risking 50% of your life, right? You're not high jump kicking and then missing and losing 50%, and its inability to break through Gliscor as well, whereas Infernape can actually do that with certain sets. I mean, Mienshao could do the same thing if it's running Hidden Poweritis, but it moved down to UU. This is going to be interesting considering RU, has some decent answers to it. We have Florges, Deblaze is down here. Obviously, the big one is Gligar as well. But as a Scarf, it's going to be really interesting. And then, defensively, you have Pokemon like Xatu, Cresselia, Chestnut. I was just thinking about it just based on typing alone. That can check them on. Obviously, Nidoqueen as well. Then you have faster mons like Salazzle. You have Mega. But as a Scarfer, I feel like we'll see a use for it. And I think the big thing that it has over the fighting types in the tier, though obviously Emor and, though obviously, I talked about Pangoro. Pangoro has it, is knockoff, right? And Regenerator is a pretty big one too. So knockoff HP Ice, maybe Life Orb sets like that. We'll see. Fake Out. Fake Out helps you better versus more offensive teams as well since it hits pretty hard coming off Mienshao's attack. I haven't seen an auto ban just yet. Maybe it already got banned and they already did something about it. Let me go to the RU tier. I know I'm like talking a little bit, but there are some Pokemon on this list that are already either banned or being suspected, and I'll go a little bit. I mean, it's right here, but I'll talk a little bit about it when it actually happens. But let's just go to the RU tier. They haven't, they literally recently did that Drought is not banned. So that's gonna be really interesting to go back to that with Mega Houndoom being down there. But anyway, maybe an HBI set, Scarf set, definitely see that running as a Scarfer in the tier. It'd probably be one of the fastest Scarfers in the tier. Like actually the fastest Scarfer in the tier, I want to say. Off the top of my head, I don't think anything that runs Scarf is going to be faster than it. Maybe Espeon at that, and that's about it. Like it's faster than Gardevoir or whatnot, which is a common Scarfer. Moltres is faster than, has Stone Edge. I don't know. The tier has like it has answers for me and Shop. It's a breaker, man, with reckless high jump kick, especially you get that knockoff. If you knock off Gligar, it's not taking reckless high jump kicks that well, especially if you're banded, or life, or ooh. But yeah, excited to see how Mian Shao fares in the tier. Next up, Entei moved down from the UU tier to RU. It was a matter of time before Entei ended up moving down. As a honestly, as a fire type in the tier, as offensive fire type, I rather use when it comes to UU, I rather use Infernape because Infernape actually, has U-turn for momentum, priority, has access to Grass Knot, so it can actually break through Pokemon like Swampert and Seismitoad. Whereas Entei's job, I mean, it did the same thing every single time. It was Banded, Sacred Fire, Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, and last move was, Stone Edge maybe for Chandelure, Stomp Tantrum for Terrakion, Chandelure, all of that. But with with the bulky waters being in the tier, Entei and even Entei being forced to run Adamant, so Gliscor can just barely just can out creep that by 1 point easily. It moved down, and really excited to see how it fares in the RU tier, considering as a physical fire type, has competition from Emboar, but the big thing is Sacred Fire obviously has that 50% chance to burn, and while RU does have bulky waters. Off the top of my head, we have Slowking, of course, and Blastoise. It also has more offensive builds or waters that don't want to. Well, Slowking's any, right? I'm not surprised, man. That's crazy. This generation, the usage, but. Just clicking Sacred Fire, man. Nothing's gonna appreciate that. Obviously, my Milotic is gonna be a huge answer to that. But man, pair my Milotic with Mega Houndoom. Pair Entei with Mega Houndoom, man. You got your physical and you got your special dog on the Sun teams. Ooh, that's gonna be fire, man. So I'm really excited to just click Sacred Fire with that thing. See how it works out. Fortress also moved down from UU to RU. Fortress for a long time has been, I think, D-ranked in the UU viability rankings, which absolutely means nothing. That's just based on what the community decides as Pokemon's viability is. The community decided the same thing about Ampom, but what, we didn't care. But going back to it, Fortress has been ranked as a bad. Okay, honestly, it makes sense for Fortress because it has trouble keeping up its hazards versus the common defoggers in the UU tier. It literally loses to all of them. Has no reliable recovery outside of Plane Split. Volt Switch Gyro Ball is easily walled, things like that. If you're running Volt Switch Gyro Ball, then you have to run Rapid Spin and you're getting up on a hazard. So, but in the RU tier. Still interested to see how it functions. Gives them another spiker as well, and it's another mon that loses to Pokemon like Xatu, and also to like Blastoise as well. So I would not be surprised if Fortress, just continues to fall down. Like even on stall teams, I wouldn't use that as my spiker just because they're easily defogged or bounce back or anything like that. Especially with Mandibuzz being in the tier as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fortress moves down to NU as well, but we'll actually just see. Maybe like on a bulky offensive, or like a not cuss out, because cuss out isn't, but like an explosion fast lead set with hazards and boom. But even then, I'd rather use something like Frostlass, even though that's lower, or even Amistar or Crusto even. And all those mons are like lower in the tiers, but I still much rather use those if I'm using like a Spikes offensive set. Even a Roserade can do it better because Roserade actually threatens something like Xatu with a 2-hit KO from offensive Sludge Bomb. So we'll see though how that mon fares. But being able to switch into physical attackers like Zydog is pretty big. Gligar, maybe you can Pain Split them and whatnot. So NU got some huge changes. Okay, so first off, NU got Bruxish, Mega Abomasnow, regular Diancie, Gigalith, Comfy, Mega Camerupt, and Amapom. We're gonna touch on Amapom real quick because I've been seeing some stuff and I don't think people actually understand. I saw Amapom to the bottom. I know that was a joke tweet and everything, and it's actually pretty funny. But I get a lot of people saying, "Hey man, Amapom's trying to end you, man. Ha! What you did was for naught." I was like, "Bro, it's been like 4 months since I've touched Amapom. Okay, more so like 3 months since I touched Amapom, and we accomplished our goal during Amapom to the top. After that, it did not matter what happened to it. The tiers were going to naturally fall back into place, right?" But it was just fun, and I got a lot of people to play Pokemon, and I saw a lot of comments like, "Oh, hey, man, I haven't laddered in forever." I think Greg said that. I haven't laddered in forever. He was one of the many. I haven't laddered in forever, but this is some of the most fun I had playing Pokemon in a long time. It just shows the community if they want to do something, we can do whatever the hell we want and just have fun. And, I think Zeral said it best, man. Why is this a bad thing? Let's just have fun. They should believe and they should know that they have some influence on the tier. So it was a lot of fun anyway. But Amapom finally back to the NU tier, and it's probably going to fall down to PU eventually. In the NU tier, it's not good. It's not. It's it's arguably worse in the NU tier than it was in the UU tier. At least in the UU tier during current, it had a niche. Fast fake out versus offensive teams. Tail slap was actually pretty nice, and then it had fire punch because it was gonna live a hit from Scizor, knock it out. Ice punch for Gliscor, right? In the NU tier, it faces competition as a tail slapper from Cinccino, which has better coverage in rock blast, bullet seed, U-turn, knockoff, whatever. Obviously, Ampum gets a few of those, U-turn and knockoff, but yeah, can't break through most teams. When it comes to NU, Steelix is like on every team, and it's not the same as like Gliscor being on every team in the UU tier because you actually have Ice Punch for that, Elemental Punches for that. But whereas in this case, it's not like it's just not able to do its job as it is. So I will fully agree if it falls down to PU eventually. But yeah, let's talk about a few other Pokemon. So the big six right here, Bruxish fell down from RU to NU, and this is really interesting, okay? Because if you look at the RU tier, RU had some solid dark types, which made it, well, I mean, Bruxish was good anyway if it was like banded. It didn't hit dark types that hard, but then again, it got liquidation as well, so that really helped it out. But its speed tier and whatnot, if you used SD, it was actually pretty hard to get up in SD, especially versus more offensive teams, or more defensive teams like Umbreon and whatnot, excuse me, which you actually weren't breaking through a +2 liquidation anyway. But Psychic Fangs hit incredibly hard on Bandit, and I'm really excited to see how it fares in the NU tier. One, it has a good speed tier, right? It's just faster than everything that outspeeds it. Was always going to naturally outspeed it, but it's faster than a ton of the tier, and a lot of the mons that outspeed it, like Delphox, for example, picked off by +2 Aqua Jet, and then it has like the breaking capabilities for mons like the Hariyama. Obviously, Guzzler is something that can check it straight up, but you can run Ice Fang as well to deal with that. And with Slowbro and Slowking in the tier, I'm really excited to see a mon that can SD and break through those, and break through Vileplume and Xatu and whatnot. Obviously, the faster Pokemon are still going to be there. You're still going to see Whimsicott teams. You're still going to be Sneasel, and Sneasel probably going to raise even more in usage. That mon busted. Sneasel wasn't banned, right? Wasn't decided to be banned, so. I expect to see a lot of Bruxish Pursuit Trapped, but I also expect to see a lot of Pokemon fall down to this mon, because this mon with Strong Draw hits incredibly hard, man, and I'm so excited to see it. Abomasnow fell down to the NU tier, and Abomasnow has the bulk to live at hit from the majority of the tier, as long as it's not, a 4 times effective Fire Blast or Flare Blitz or anything like that, and it has the ability to break through teams that depend on Slowbro for pivots, and Xatu to pivot, Whimsicott to pivot and all that. So as a mixed attacker, I'm super excited to see this. Even SD has some use. I'm pretty sure if you get Delphox at like 50% +2 max attack, Ice Shower, it's probably doing around 40 something. So you weaken Delphox a little bit, which isn't that hard. You pair Abomasnow with Incineroar or Sneasel or whatnot. I'm really excited to see how well mixed Abomasnow works in the tier, and if Abomasnow is actually going to end up being banned like it was in NU in previous generations. Mega Abomasnow actually got banned in previous generations. There was a time where Mega Abomasnow was NU, not in this generation though. So we'll see. Diancie moving down, nice stealth rocker, something that can Stealth Rock on Delphox that doesn't care as much about Xatu because of Diamond Storm. Good pivot for fighting types in the tier, though Pissimian has access to Iron Head, and same thing with Scrafty as well. But that'll be interesting, but can take a hit from him and leave him on top if it needs to. Checks Houndoom and whatnot, and as a Stealth Rocker, and can run Z-Healba as well, so maybe we'll see some balanced builds with Diancie running them with Z, Heal Belt. That'd be pretty interesting. In the NU tier, of course, like it was in RU and Stealth Rock up. But Gigalith fell down to NU, and this would be pretty cool because I don't believe Sand Rush is banned in the tier. I just know that the last one you could actually use was probably like Hippopotas, plus Stoutland. I'm pretty sure that was like the only thing you could use. Let me just make sure this is legal. Stoutland has no moves. It's completely fine. Pretty sure this is viable. Yep. So Sandstream is definitely legal, but now you might actually be seeing it more because Gigalith is arguably a better Sand Setter because he can actually switch it on things. Obviously, the Hippo can set up rocks and has reliable recovery and runs Eviolite, but it worries more so about knockoff, whereas Gigalith does not care about knockoff as much. So we might see some more Sand teams run up, and with that, obviously, Steelix is going to be there as well to just wall the majority of them, but that'll be a lot of fun to see. maybe some sand rising up in usage, and as a special wall, like that mon doesn't care about the special attackers at all in the tier. So that's really cool to see how Gigalith will fare, and just see the rise of, and plus, you know, some little weather wars with the ice cream and whatnot. But just see how if Sam will actually rise as a whole, and see how that does. So Comfy also went down to NU, and I'm really excited about this mon because this generation it got, or this Ultra Sun and Moon. I shouldn't say this generation because it's a Sun and Moon mon, but Ultra Sun and Moon, it got access to Giga Drain as well. So it has not only triage boosted Draining Kiss, but also access to Giga Drain. And as a stall breaker, for example, like this mon is stupid bulky. In a sense that it's not actually bulky, but it has good enough SPDEF and defenses and low enough HP to the point of Draining Kiss, since it recovers 75% of the damage dealt, and it has low HP. For the most part, this mon is going to be recovering enough. So I could definitely see some sort of Calm Mind, you know, similar to the other one, maybe Taunt, Aromatherapy or Synthesis set, like Cleric set like that, Calm Mind Stallbreaker set coming out, because it does have the ability to break through some stall archetypes. Obviously, if they're bad, to be fair. Can't break through Pokemon like Garbodor, Golbat, and whatnot. Actually, I might be able to break through Golbat, depending on it. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm excited to see. Can't break through Steelix either, or Vileplume. I'm interested to see how this mon fares. As a fairy type, it faces competition from the best fairy type in the tier, which is Whimsicott. And then, you know, defensively, you have Pokemon like Aromatisse, Diancie now. But Whimsicott's easily the best fairy type in the tier offensively and even support-wise. So, faces competition for that. But maybe on some more of offensive builds, or even like a balanced type of build, or even a stall type of team as your Cleric and whatnot, or Calm Mind Breaker. Pretty interested to see how that works. I wish they gave it just like Psychic. I think Psychic would be something that would actually help it. Or, you know, Earth Power. But I think Earth Power would be too much for this Pokemon. But we'll see. We'll see. So, Mega Camerupt also fell down to the NU tier. And as far as special attackers go in NU, when it comes to fire types, obviously Delphox is down there. But that's actually a check to Delphox. And that's about it when it comes to the tier. But as a breaker, similar to Mega Abomasnow, it's going to be ridiculously hard to switch into Sheer Force boosted Earth Powers, Fire Blasts, and whatnot. They are no joke, and it can actually naturally, just because of its bulk, can check Pokemon like Delphox as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. Just click. Maybe we'll see some Trick Room Rise or just some balance teams with Camerupt as well. Hell, man, the NU tier isn't even that fast, man. Maybe you even see like a Rock Polish camera, because it actually has the bulk to Rock Polish up on certain threats. So that'll be pretty interesting. Breaking through Pokemon like Slowbro. Definitely Slowking can check it with Assault Vest, or just naturally as well. But that'll be fun to see. Now, NU lost Typhlosion, but Typhlosion actually got to PU and was automatically voted by the council to be banned. So Typhlosion is actually banned. NU also lost Samurott, which was also previously banned. So that's already banned as well. So that's not a big thing for PU in general. But let me know your guys' thoughts on this. I think that NU and UU obviously got hit really hard, losing Amoonguss. NU got a whole bunch of fun changes. The same thing with RU. So that's going to be a ton of fun playing these tiers. I do want to know your thoughts. Obviously, you can leave them down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.